the time over to them.
Perfect. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming and meeting with us. Staci's going to be kind of in control. This will be interesting because she's in control of the screen on her end, and then we're both going to be talking. So be patient with us as we navigate that. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. I don't know if you want to introduce each other, Stace, first. I'm Holly Sullivan. I'm a high school counselor. I'm over students M through Z. Had to think about that for a second. And then this is...
Hi, I'm Staci Glazier, and I am over students with last names A through L. So I'm excited to meet with you guys today and work with you next year.
Okay, so we're going to dive right in. We're going to start with high school requirements. So Staci's going to click on this first link for me. So this link is going to take you directly to our website. Our counseling website can be found by going to the Utah Online website, click on students and then counseling, and it'll take you to our site. So I'm going to start with this top part that says typical high school progression. This is exactly what it says, the typical high school progression for students in grades 7th through 12th. Now on your high school transcript, it's only going to be showing classes from 9th to 12th grade, unless you've taken some high school classes in those earlier years, and you and your counselor can kind of discuss those types of situations. The cool thing about online high school is that really you can tailor your schedule and your progression to you, to whatever you need when you need it. If you want to graduate early, we can load more classes while you're an underclassman. If you want to leave some of the stuff from 9th grade till your 12th grade, that's doable. So working with your counselor is key in building your schedule, making sure you're on track for graduation. And we're going to talk in a little more about CCRs, which is a meeting that you get to have where you get to discuss all of that. So then Staci's going to scroll down just a little bit. The first diploma is our traditional diploma. This requires 24 credits to graduate. And within those 24 credits, you have to have 4 years of language arts, 3 years of math, which is generally secondary math 1, 2, and 3. There are some different circumstances. Then you need science, 3 years of that. And that can be 2 lab-based science and then 1 science elective. Then we have social studies, which is geography, world civ, US history, US gov, and then 1 more social studies elective. Then you've got your arts, which is 1.5 credits of art. Healthy lifestyles includes physical skills, fit for life, health, and then 1 more PE elective. Then we've got vocational education, which we often, in fact, more times refer to it as CTE, career and technical education. You have to have 1 credit of that. Digital studies is your business office specialist class. And then financial literacy is the final requirement. And then the rest of them are just electives, and electives can be anything that you want them to be. The cool thing about electives is it's a good way to start exploring, trying new classes, trying new subjects that you may thought that you were interested in. Like I said, electives can be whatever you want, and then you end up with 24 or more for graduation. Something else to know is to graduate from Utah Online High School, you have to have a minimum of 6 credits actually from Utah Online High School. But if you're starting as a freshman, that should definitely not be a problem. So then the other diploma that we have is an honors diploma. You have to have a 3.5 or higher GPA, which basically means you've got to have a C or above in most of your classes. You have to have 4 years of English. You have to have an extra year of math. So generally an advanced math your senior year is what you'll do. The sciences have to be 3 specific sciences, which are biology, chemistry, and physics. Social science is just adding on 1 more elective social studies. This can be done by taking various social studies classes or tacking on like honors world civ instead of regular world civ. But again, that can be discussed with your counselor. And then you have to have 2 years of a foreign language, and it has to be progressive. So it has to be Spanish 1, then 2, or French 2, then 3. But it has to be the same language and 2 progressive years of that. The ACT scores, this year we're actually waiving the ACT scores because of COVID and students not being able to take the ACT, but it'll be in discussion whether we'll continue on with that. So maybe by the time, hopefully the world will be back to normal by the time you guys are seniors, and that will probably still be a requirement. So that is yet to be determined, but just keep that in mind. That is something that you may have to have. Then right below that traditional diploma, there's a graduation checklist. We don't necessarily have to click on it, but it's a spreadsheet that gives you all the requirements in little check boxes of everything that you need for graduation. So it's a really good form. Oh, yay, she's going to show it. This form is awesome because you can just use it as kind of like a guide of, oh, I've gotten this completed, check, check, check. And it's got both options, the regular diploma as well as the honors. So it's just a great way for students to kind of be accountable and pay attention to what they're taking and what it's counting for. And just making sure that you're checking off all those little boxes of everything that you need for graduation. So then next up is courses offered with Utah Online. We're just going to kind of touch on this a little bit. On our website, if you go to utahonline.org, right there on the home page is the courses link. It'll take you here and you just click on grades 9 through 12. These are all the courses we offer to high school students that count for high school credit. They're categorized in the subject that they go to. So if you were to click on any random elective or any random area, it gives a drop down of all of the courses within that subject area that we offer. And then right below the name of the class is a description of each course and what it counts for, how many credits it counts for, etc. We had a question last time about what NCAA meant that I'll just answer. So if anybody has that question, NCAA is if you are planning on being a college athlete, they require certain courses for graduation and to count for certain subject areas. So that's something, if you are thinking that you are going to be playing college ball someday, you want to definitely get with your counselor as you're choosing your classes and make sure that you're choosing the correct classes that will allow you to be eligible for that. You also have to get registered with the NCAA. So that's and something that you, like I said, you want to talk to your counselor about because it goes into a little bit more depth than that. But that's kind of what that NCAA approved means, is that course works for those. So I think that covers everything there. Staci's going to go into concurrent enrollment.
Okay, so some of you have probably heard of concurrent enrollment and maybe have some questions about what that means. So basically what concurrent enrollment is it's the opportunity for students to take college classes in high school and earn both credit for high school and for college. So we are able to start students in 9th grade with some concurrent enrollment classes. So typically, let me go into these courses again. When we were talking about the requirements for graduation, and again, you don't have to take certain classes at certain times, but there's recommended classes. So usually in 9th grade, you're taking a class called Business Office Specialist. And it just helps you with computer programs so that you're able to write papers and be successful for the rest of your high school career. So there is an option to take that for concurrent enrollment. So what that would mean is that you would sign up through Dixie State University as well as with Utah Online, and then you would earn college credit at the same time as you are earning your high school credit. The nice thing about that is you earn 1.0 credit for a semester class. So it's like double the credit. The other really nice thing is that these college level classes are $5 for a credit hour. The majority of them are 3-hour classes. So you're paying about $15 for a college level course, which after high school would cost around $700. So if college is something you're definitely looking into after you graduate, this is a great option to save yourself a lot of money. Plus, you can have a lot of those general classes taken care of by the time you graduate high school. Again, we do offer a lot of those concurrent enrollment classes. Here's a list of all that we offer. And and you can just work with Holly or myself while we're talking about signing up for the next year's classes, and we can give you more information about how to sign up. The important thing is to look at these CE prerequisites. So as a ninth grader, you can't take some of the classes just because you haven't done some of the other classes. So this is a really good place to look to see if you qualify to take certain classes. So, for example, there's a couple of them that have no prerequisite. And so those are good classes to take. However, just remember that these classes will go on a high school transcript as well as a college transcript. So we want to talk about, readiness for college level classes as well. So we don't, even though there's no prerequisite, we wouldn't want to, give a student a lot of college classes if they're not necessarily ready for that level of coursework, because we want them to have a transcript that reflects their true capabilities and not we threw them in too early and they didn't know what to expect. So again, we would love to work with you on that. And we will have some time at the end. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us at the end of this little presentation.
Okay, so the next thing that we are going to talk about is our CCR meeting. So I cannot stress enough how important a college and career readiness meeting with your counselor is. Number one, it's when you pick your classes for next year with us. So it's a time that we sit down individually with every student and make an individualized plan for school. It's when we talk about your future plans. If you're going to graduate early, we make a plan for that. We talk about college, scholarships, post-secondary education, just pretty much everything that has to do with the future, and we plan from there. So then we create your schedule, and then those are the classes what you're going to have next year. So I just can't stress enough how important the CCR meeting is with your counselor. So this year, as eighth graders, you will have your CCR meeting with Chelsea or Jason, and they will help you choose your ninth grade classes. Staci and I are always happy to answer any questions that you may have. So just feel free to reach out to us if there's anything that you need, but you'll be doing that meeting with them. And then when you get to ninth grade, you'll do a ninth grade CCR, and we do a CCR with every student every single year. So it's a great opportunity to, ask any questions that you have, just get that face-to-face contact. Me and Staci always talk about how much we love our CCRs because it's our opportunity to actually see everybody and get to know them on a more personal level. So it's really great. And we love to get to know our students and help you plan for success in your future. It's awesome. Did I cover everything for CCRs? I feel like, yeah.
I think so. So now parents and students, if you have any questions on your screen, you just can click on the little mic that's probably red right now with a line through it. And then that unmutes you. And then you can ask us any questions that you have and we can answer them or at least find the answers for you if we're not sure what they are. Okay, go ahead, Emma.
Oh, sorry, it's actually Amy, but
oh, okay, sorry.
I'm the mom.
Oh, okay.
I just had a question. When I was doing this with my daughter Emma, that's in 10th grade, when I met with the counselor, they had said something that there was possibilities of something happening where Spanish, if you did it, I think 2 or 3 years, it would count as your English. Does that still apply?
Yes. So how that works is if a student, for example, takes Spanish 3 or any foreign language on the 3rd level, so French 3, Spanish 3, Chinese 3, that can actually count as the 12th grade language arts credit. So so we could use that in a various ways. Like, so if the student wants to graduate early, we could count that as their 12th grade language arts, and or we could, there's a lot of different ways that we can count that. So yes, it can count as a language arts credit, but just the 12th grade language arts credit.
But something to know is it won't count for honors.
Okay.
diploma, only the traditional diploma.
Okay. I have another question too, if that's okay.
Yeah.
On the CE courses, are they different? So like computers, the one that's like, say for ninth grade, that's a computer business specialist, that one that they did this year. So I have a ninth grader coming in this next year, she's in eighth grade. So would that be a different course or it's exactly the same course and you get the college credits?
Nope, it's a different course.
Okay.
They're pretty similar. Like I believe they cover a lot of this of similar things, but the college courses are generally, you know, a tad bit harder, a little bit more in depth, and can be a little bit different and teach a few different things. But yeah, definitely a little bit different of a course.
Okay, thank you.
And one of the main differences on that business office specialist class for the concurrent enrollment level class is that a student actually has to come take one final test and they get a certificate when they take that test, but they have to take that test with Mrs. Hunt, our CE teacher. So if you don't live in Southern Utah, you would want to still be able to plan because we can't proctor that test. We've tried. So that's kind of the tricky thing is if you want that CE credit, you do have to actually come to Southern Utah just one time to take that final test.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Funky computer. Okay, sorry. Have you, is it possible to split between Utah Online and traditional high school? Take like electives at the high school and the core classes at Utah Online? Do you have that happen? Is it possible to do that?
It is possible for us to do that. There's just something that you want to be aware of. So depending on where the student wants to graduate from is the school that they should be enrolled in. So if your student is planning on graduating with Utah Online, then they would be a full-time student with us and would be taking part-time classes from their boundary school. But if the student is wanting to graduate from their boundary school, then they really should be a full-time student with their boundary school and a part-time student with us. And then that way they're working with the correct counselor and the correct school, the correct graduation requirements, because every school can be a little bit different in what they require for graduation. So we would just hate for a student to think that they're working with us and planning to graduate somewhere else and not have the correct amount of credits. So that's something to be aware of. And if they are part-time with us, then it's a little bit different of a process. You have to request your class through a program called SEATS and work with your boundary school counselor to get that all lined out. But yes, it's definitely possible to do dual enrollment in the schools.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
We're in northern Utah, and he wouldn't be going to Dixie. It's not really his plan now anyway. So those CE classes, do they transfer okay to another university?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. All Utah colleges have an agreement. Well, you just have to pay attention to the private colleges like Westminster or BYU. They can be picky about what credits transfer, but generally any of the state universities and colleges, they all accept their credits.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Yeah, as she's doing the online right now, I do everything from home. So they have it written in the plan once she goes to like a box school again to put that all back in place.
Perfect. Yep, that sounds great. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat and I'm not sure if this question was already asked. Ronnie, and I hope I'm saying it, Ronnie Tressel, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. So one of the previous people asked if like 3 years of a certain language could count as your language arts or English.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that would be the same for 3 years of ASL.
Yes, that counts as well. So ASL is considered a foreign language. So your third year of ASL would count as your 12th grade language class.
And I also have another question, like what grade can you graduate early at?
So this is the nice thing, Ronnie, is basically we can make a plan and we want to make a plan that works best for you. I think Mrs. Sullivan has a student that's a ninth grader that's graduating this year. I had a sophomore that graduated already this year. Really, so there's that 24 credit that you have to have, that 24 credit requirement. When you reach that, you can essentially be graduated. A full schedule is 6 classes a year. And so, you take 6 classes, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But we have a lot of options like summer school and options to add, a class or 2 during the semester. So really, we would just want to make a plan that works best for you, and look at your goals in a realistic way so that we're helping you meet those goals, but not overwhelming you. And but basically, we can work with whatever you want to do. We would just kind of outline that to make sure it's something that you are on board with.
And I hope I'm saying this right. Is there a specific date for the CCR meetings?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Say that again.
Is there a specific date for the CCR meetings?
Oh, a specific date? No, not yet. I believe that your counselors, Chelsea or Jason, will probably send out an email, I'm guessing, to get those scheduled with you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So there's a question in the chat, and this is a good question. Since our child is currently a student, do we need to go through the application process again, or is he already set to go for 9th grade with UOS? So the nice thing about our schools right now is that where the middle school switched to Edgenuity, that's what high school is on as well. So there's no additional paperwork or anything like that that needs to be done. The only thing that needs to be done is when you meet with Chelsea and Jason, you'll just need to let them know that you're planning on staying with Utah Online School as a full-time student. And we have one form that we'll send out to you that's required for high school students. But really, that's the only thing that we will need. In addition, we don't need any additional paperwork or registration or anything like that. Okay, any other questions? And you can type in the chat.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Is it for me?
Yes, you. Yeah, go.
Okay,
sorry.
I heard you say about the summer courses. Is it only electives that they can do through the summer, or can they actually take other courses too?
So I'm just going to bring up our summer classes. And just so you know, the thing that if you have younger students, when they're in 6th grade, they can start counting these classes, high school classes, on their transcript. So for example, if I'll give you a personal example. My children take piano lessons. And so starting in the 6th grade, I have them sign up every single semester for the independent music study class because they're already doing that. So if you have children that are taking private voice lessons or music lessons, they can sign up for that class, and then they just have to turn their hours in, and they can start getting high school credit in 6th grade. These are all of the summer classes that we offer. There's some that are core classes, but the majority of them are elective type classes. For example, we don't offer secondary math 1 or 2 or 3 just because of the amount of work that would require in a summer is usually not doable because it is a shorter semester. But we do offer the math of personal finance class, a lot of the social science classes. A lot of these classes count as the 12th grade language arts, like children's literature, college prep lit, college prep writing. But all of these, we have quite a few. We have a few new ones that we're adding this year. Shakespeare and world religions are being added to this summer as well. So quite a few choices. We usually recommend about 2 to 3 classes during the summer just because it is a reduced amount of time. All right, any other questions? Okay. All right, I don't see any in the chat. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to your middle school counselors right now, to Chelsea and Jason, or you can definitely reach out to Holly or myself. Again, I work with students last names A through L. Holly works with students last names M through Z, and our contact information is on the website. You can email us, give us a call, text us, whatever works best for you. But we're excited to work with you for next year. And we are, here to answer any questions that you may have as your students starting high school. So please let us let us know how we can help you and make this the best, best high school experience for your child.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Glazier and Ms. Sullivan. We appreciate your time, and thank you for the parents and students that were here. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to myself or even the counselor that will be over your student, because they are the pros with the high school stuff. So either way, we're all available, and we appreciate your time. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.